Dude, none of this has nothing to do with dark matter. I don't know where you're getting that word from. I never
Whatever
said dark
word.
matter.
All right. What is the
What's our
word you want
proof
me to
that dark
use?
matter even exists?
What is the word you
Bro,
want
this
me
ain't
to use?
about dark. Oh, you guys are killing me now. See what you did?
Whatever word it is. All right, if I shine a let's say it's in orbit around the sun and it shines a laser towards the edge of the universe and it goes through the word I'm not saying correctly and you keep saying I should be using properly. Let's say it goes through that. How do we detect that unless it reflects back at us?
Because your model dictates that it's going to happen. And I mean, you clearly just don't know about this topic. It's fine, dude. Just let someone else handle it that knows.
Do you know how a reflector and a laser work? So I can't
You don't
shine
even
a
know the
laser.
topic we're talking about.
Jeremy,
What are we even talking about?
Jeremy,
You think it's
Jeremy.
dark matter stuff.
Oh my God.
You don't
Jeremy,
even know what we're talking about.
I'll let you be. You sound like you need this.
What's our proof that dark matter even exists? Nobody.
Bro,
That's what I
Jeremy
want.
knows this like his tax returns need to be fucking up to a couple K.
How do we know that dark matter is dark matter? How do we know that it exists?
It's just a placeholder.
Yeah, that question means you don't get what it is.
Well, what
Dark
if we
matter
can't-
dark matter has had an observable effect to lensing through deep space. I believe if you were to look for evidence of it having an effect on anything, it would be on light. If I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken.
So light's affected by something, and we call it dark matter?
Do you have a problem with something being called dark matter? What is your problem with the labeling of it, or the fact that its effects are something you can't comprehend? Which of those two scenarios?
You're changing the subject. My question was,
there's
what
too many people
proof
white knighting
dark
for the
matter
person
exists?
that just asked, that has to answer the question. Is it one or the other? Like, don't let them white knight for you. Don't do that.
Oh, this is all just sport for you.
Oh,
This
come
isn't
on.
even, like,
Yeah,
about anything
maybe
other
you
than
should go on
sport.
mute for a while. Maybe you're just
I'm
sport
just
for me.
asking a question because all I'm hearing is a presupposition that dark matter exists, but I'm asking for some kind of verifiable proof that it exists.
Well, they don't actually see it. They see something causing an effect, but they don't know what it is, so they call it dark.
Right. So can we measure it?
Yeah,
And
if you've got the
can we,
equipment, you can measure it just like they do.
interact with it?
Yeah, hold on. Can you measure things that are observable? Let's answer that question first. Does everyone agree that you can measure something if it is observable?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Is
so
dark
you
matter
agree.
observable?
Yeah, the effect. All right, so let's say this.
Hold
All
on.
right, hold
You're
on.
measuring the effect of it, but not the thing itself.
No, hold on. Let me
That's like
walk you down.
a bird flew by. I'm gonna measure the air that it disturbed.
No. I'm gonna walk. No, I'll get you there. All right. So we have
what I'm asking.
we have a shoreline.
Gotta
Okay,
cut you off the whole time. Demon.
Jesus Christ, he was just doing a fucking bullshit thing. All right, let me answer the question because he just wanted to it was sophistry. Y'all love that. Witsit would have just said that was sophistry. Okay, so you have a shoreline, and throughout the day, the shoreline may change, right? So you can actually like observe that, and you can apply that to that, and be like, it isn't the same all the way across the board, correct? So you don't have to just say one thing is the same all the way of the way.
Well, in your example of the shoreline, what's actually changing? What is it that we observe changing on the shoreline?
It would be the depth, like in how far back the shoreline is from, furthest out from the like.
But what are we witnessing? What are we observing that's changing with the shoreline example?
You don't.
It's your example. I'm asking you.
You're observing change.
Change of what?
Oh my God.
You want me to provide your example for you? In a shoreline, we're witnessing change or observing change. We're observing the change of what? The level of the water, the movement of the water, the exposure and the occultation of the land beneath the water, right? Two things that we can observably witness and measure.
No, you've waxed me into obscurity. You've won the argument at this point. Good job, sir.
I fail to see how that is relevant when if you use an argument or an example of something that is 100% observable and measurable, and as a comparison to something that we cannot observe and measure. That's where I failed to see your argument. I was asking for you to elaborate. How is that relevant to dark matter? I can watch the water recede and come back and measure that change. How do I do that with dark matter?
The effects of dark matter are apparent through observations, right, with red shifting and blue shifting and
So
lensing
we see
effect.
dark matter moving.
Do you respond to the last two things I just said?
You mentioned an effect.
Mhm.
Okay.
The
How does
lens.
that effect prove the thing? I could say that the shadow that passed over my head was based on a unicorn. I just couldn't see the unicorn. I can't see the unicorn, but I'm measuring the effect of the unicorn passing overhead and causing a breeze. There's an effect that's being measured,
Okay.
but no thing that's being measured. So
Okay.
how do we know that dark matter exists and
Okay.
it's not something else?
Okay. So the fact that you tried to equate dark matter with fairy and farts and unicorn dust is like the epitome of you not understanding exactly what they're claiming with dark matter. All right.
Well,
They're
that's
not.
what I was asking you. I'm asking you to
Hold on,
defend that
I'm sorry,
position,
I'm right.
not.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that you don't understand. Okay. Dark matter is an apparent effect. Okay. They are not watching a rainbow thing. They are witnessing light, experiencing things in certain areas and whatnot. They're watching how uh, specifically Newton's laws cannot apply to the Newton's laws essentially apply to, I believe, planetary scale, but on the galactic scale, they've used dark matter, which is an apparent force, just like the Coriolis and other things which are apparent forces, to explain why there are certain motions which they observe. So
So
if you
dark
would like
matter is a force and not a thing.
if you would like to argue this matter on a scholastic level, why don't you go about their apparent movement that should not be but is observed, because we observe
Did
it
you
to be a
just
certain
compare
thing.
dark matter to a force and not a physical thing?
No, the point is that we observe things to be happening, okay, which don't have apparent physiological or even maybe even mathematical uh, terminated endings. So we theorize on them. So
So it's
what is
fantasy.
your so you're arguing against a theory, right? Which is
So
that
dark matter is a fantasy for
these
mathematicians.
are theories that are arguing for why things can be. So what is your argument against the current theory, which is just, based on the best understanding? So like it's not solid, it will change. And if you come up with like a concrete argument right now, you could break history in this voice chat, in this VC on Earth Awakenings. You could
Well, this
change
is why
history
I asked
by
the
proving
questions
the
that I
point.
asked, right? And I'm
Yeah,
asking just
exactly.
for some proof that it exists, right? And all
Well,
I'm hearing
no, not asking
is
questions, but actually like
fantastical
demonstrating
comparisons to
the
things
thing.
that are not the thing, right? Things that have different functions to the thing in question are being used to compare it, right? So it doesn't make sense when I'm asking, if I said, what's the proof that the car is rolling down the road? And you can say, hey, look, the car is rolling down the road. I can see it and measure it. But if I'm asking you for, here's a comparison that would be similar to you trying to defend dark matter. how do we have any proof that God exists? Right?
Wait,
I'm
now
not saying it does or does not
you're
exist. I'm
bringing
saying what's
God
the
into
proof
it?
for it. And to me,
Wait,
that's
wait.
the closest comparison
Wait,
because
are you wait, is this an argument? Wait, this entire time this was an argument for God?
no, it's not. I'm using that as a comparison. I'm
Are
saying
you
we can't
religious?
really prove through science that God exists or doesn't exist. Through science, we have belief. And dark
Science
matter
that
has not
will
been
always
physically
prove
proven
that
to exist
hold on. The
outside of
science
a mathematical model. And so it's all fantastical. It's like a mathematician's wet dream because we don't have any proof that it exists. And when I'm asking you for that, all you're doing is using physical comparisons to something that can't physically be measured.
okay, all
So
right.
how do we know that it exists?
All right. Do you have faith that God exists? Yes or no?
Of course I do.
Okay, because there is no scientific method that could actually prove the existence of God. Because even under your own theology, you would not have a proof for God. You have faith that God exists. You don't need proof.
That was what I just said. That was exactly what I just said, and I used that
what
to
I'm
say
saying.
that
So right.
you
So
have
what I'm
faith
gonna
dark
conclude
matter
here.
exists, but
Right.
no proof.
Totally.
I'm
Right.
asking
So
for proof.
yeah. Thank you. I require no longer any questions from the witness. I'm going to conclude my statement to the jury. This man does not require that we have proof to believe God exists. He requires blind faith without
Yep,
evidence
that's a
of
straw
what
man.
he claims. Okay.
I
And
didn't say
That's
blind
what I
faith.
said.
no, he did. He did
That's
No, he
actually.
not
didn't
what I
say
said.
blind faith.
It is blind faith.
No,
That's
that's a
not what he
complete
said.
straw man. You want to
Okay,
talk to me about
all right. How about
sophistry?
this?
You
That's a
have
can
no
of
answers,
no.
bro. I'm
That's
This is all
asking
sport
all
to
right.
him.
No,
I'm
that's a can
asking
of
He
for
worms.
doesn't
answers
Aether,
give a
to
fuck
get
about
answers,
opponent,
any
and
of
you
these
want to
opponent.
give
topics.
anything.
What is your
You want to
evidence?
try and turn
Not
the argument
what is
back
your
around
evidence?
onto me instead of answering my
What?
question.
No. What is your evidence? All
That's
right.
a red herring.
If it's not blind faith, what is your evidence that God does exist as a
There
factual
you go
basis?
again. There's the red herring. Look, we're
No,
not
it's not.
talking
Yep.
about God. I use God as a comparison to your faith that you claim something physical exists without any proof that something
I don't have
physical exists.
I don't have a faith. No, you don't get to do that. You don't even know what my faith could be, would be, or not be. But your
Then
claim is that God.
demonstrate the proof that
No,
dark
you
matter is a
failed, sir.
thing.
You failed. Your claim was that God is the actual creator, with like, and
I didn't
faith
say that.
requires. Does faith require obedience with or without fact? Yes or no?
I didn't ask you that. And here you go
Well,
again,
well,
changing it around
faith for
instead of
your belief
answering the
in
question.
God.
If you don't have proof that dark matter exists, just say that, bro.
Right. So
Just say
your
that.
ultimate
Instead of trying
argument,
to turn
we're
it
going to
around
go back
back on
to
me, just
religion.
say that. If you don't have proof, say I don't have proof. I just believe it's real because that's what I've been told.
All
Because
right.
that's what
So
I'm
all
hearing.
right. All right. All right. So what now?
Right. With no physical proof or attributes. Because this guy types some numbers in a computer. He's so much smarter than you.
BMW, Ford, General Electric, Walmart, Lowe's, Oral
All
B.
military.
They even got into toothbrushes.
All military.
They put AI in your toothbrush now too.
They probably do.
No, they do. They're like legitimately. You can see at the store. They're like, "Hey, AI toothbrush for blah blah blah."
What's
Like,
fluoride got to do with when they force fluoride and everything? How do you
what's
know it wasn't
fluoride
it?
got to
How
do
do you
with it? Got
know what
to
I'm
Got to
with
saying?
it.
do with it.
How do you know? How do you know it wasn't nanotech in the first place? The supposed fluoride they put in everybody's water and everywhere ever since the day.
Well,
Right?
it's
How do you
you
know?
realize
Watch.
fluoride's in the ground. Fluoride is in the ground. Like there's
Yeah, what comes with
all
it?
wells. Hold on, wells all through the southern United States. Like no, just God doing it. They're full of fluoride, like dangerous levels of fluoride.
The problem, Pinky, is they have like documentation showing that like aluminum, like the whatever processing happens in China is like you get the fluoride from. It's like from aluminum, and then they use it, and they're like, well, what are we gonna do with all this? And then their argument is that we'll just stick it in the water and make them all crazy and then follow us. That's the best argument I've heard for fluoride in the water the entire time. But like, there's no actual long-term studies proving that fluoride does the things people claim they do. The bad, like, people will start off saying like it's a bad thing because it's an offshoot of these chemical industrial processes that happen, but that isn't actually the fluoride molecule that goes into our water treatment systems. But that is how a conspiracy theory continues to be propped up, is because people will believe the thing that makes them feel an emotion versus the fact of the matter.
All right,
No, I'm
fluoride's good
saying,
for you. Got it. Got it. Thank you.
I was
Thank
saying,
you for that.
Small
no,
amount. Too much
What does
fluoride
large
is
amounts of
bad.
fluoride do? What does
I
it
was
do?
saying
It blacks
fluoride's
your
a joke.
It'll mess with you real bad.
Yeah, give you
I was saying
cancer,
it's
right?
also a joke.
I don't think it
Give you
gives you
all kinds
cancer.
of
I think
shit.
it's more like
Well, that's
makes you
according to
damages your
DuPont's
nerves, your
finding,
brain.
right? Yeah, but DuPont was like, oh yeah, when we put these levels, huge levels of fluoride, this is like
Yeah.
the effect of it. Like people getting all kinds of sickness from it.
That's
See
why
how
if
it
you have an
invokes
all
the fear
natural well,
within Pure Rigor here, like he's afraid of it, and he doesn't even know why. The
Motherfucker, I got
propaganda,
it in my
the
toothpaste.
propaganda, the hold on,
How
the
am I afraid?
propaganda led you to believe a
At
thing
least I
that you
brushed my
cannot.
teeth. Oh, Demon Strider said he hasn't brushed his teeth. Uh-oh.
no, I'll
Hold
bet.
on,
I'll
Listed on
bet
a
though. Pure, hold
biological
on,
level,
hold on.
the
fluoride
I'll bet.
propaganda
replaces
led you to
iodine and
believe a
fibrin.
thing that isn't true on a position, or
Propaganda made you
a
not brush your teeth. Good job, Demon
oh my
Strider.
god! All right,
I'll bet Pure Rigor puts a tiny. He's afraid to put too much toothpaste, so he just puts like a little teeny tiny
well,
dot on
yeah,
there when he
he
brushes it.
uses
And
scale.
then I like
He
rub
uses
it on
fish
my
scales
soap
and
bar
calcium to
to get
brush
the
his
extra
teeth.
clean.
So like
And
Pure Rigor
it's not
gets his
even
teeth
all
fucking
toothpaste.
pristine white, but he smells like fucking fish breath because he does it the old-fashioned way.
Bud Light mouthwash.
I'm saying, when they say there's stuff in your water
Rigor.
and they're putting stuff everywhere, I was saying there's a code term for all these other things that they're putting in your water. So yeah, fluoride might give them an advantage to hurt you health-wise for the health industry. But I was saying AI, really. They've been putting AI in stuff. Some type of
Dude, if
Water?
anyone isn't
Did
against,
they
like,
put
if
AI in the
anyone
water?
watches a video right now and it has AI in it, if you fucking watch it the whole length through, you might as well put a thumbs down, or you're adding to the fucking downfall of our species. Every single AI slop video you see, sometimes it's just a fucking image, right? But it's like like somebody's talking over it, but they say a bunch of bad words that don't make sense, and like the text in the image, it like has a properly
Are
worded
you an
sentence.
AI?
Downvote it, and talk shit in their fucking chat, because some of them, I've been getting a lot of fucking 2 fucking views on YouTube, where I'm watching like a short or something. AI slop is everywhere. People think it's just fucking, it's okay to do. It's not.
The news started it. They're the ones that brought you fake murders and fake deaths from AI, fake rockets, fake CGI. They made it okay for science. Science
Fake
would not be
Discord,
anywhere
fake
without
chat,
fake TVs,
fake voice,
fake cartoons. Science wouldn't be no
fake
new
Democh,
technology.
Democh,
fake
they're going to
internet,
the moon. Democh, they're going to the moon,
fake
baby.
flat earth,
Full
Democh, you got
story,
to.
loser.
If
fake
Point.
AI
sky,
is bad, right?
fake
If
people,
Is that
AI is
happening
bad,
today? Is that
one
happening
at a
today,
time.
Sanic?
One at a time, please.
if AI is bad, right? If you guys are saying you should
AI or
downvote
fake
it,
AI?
this, that. Oh, shut the fuck up, please. Right? And you're saying all this stuff, then what needs to be done
Come on, bro.
within, the law to change that? Because now you're putting forth like restrictions.
Well,
You're
Well,
saying
Bernie Sanders
we
actually
should
put forward
prevent
a
this.
law.
Well, how do we prevent it?
fake Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, Bernie Sanders and Alexandria
He's fake, right?
Cortez just put forward legislation to try and limit this, and actually put
Fake legislation?
yeah, exactly, legislation that needs to be voted on
It's fake, right?
for America and other countries abroad.
Fake America?
Who's
Shut
Dude,
it.
speaking?
shut
Dude,
up, dude.
can you
You're
stop?
annoying.
Please,
Stop that.
I'd like everyone to just take a second to chill. Go one at a time. Please.
Yeah,
Demon Strider, you were talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just put forward like what they would propose for Congress and the Senate to make a law on AI not being able to, you know, reach the limit of literally, you know, what we talk about with like the Terminator effect, you know, like with Skynet going online. Like he brought that legislation forward and talked about it, and it was honestly horrifying to think that like this old man who can probably barely understand TikTok is explaining to the rest of our legislation in America that like, hey, we're about to be run. Get this. Your blue collar jobs, managers are about to be replaced by AI. My manager at my job is about to be replaced by, they're running AI in my job right now to find things that my manager should have. He's about to lose his job.
All right. So the question was, you know, what type of laws do we put forth? Like, what type of restrictions do we put on, you know, AI or the people? Because essentially,
Well,
you're going to be
And
putting restrictions on
what
people
happens
that
when the AI
utilize
runs
AI.
the company and then like
Not a non
everyone
sequitur,
in
not like a side tangent. Like, can you
don't all
engage with
right,
what I said?
can you just chill for a minute, bro? Like
But you
imagine
do
if
this
it,
every time, man.
oh
It's
my
insufferable.
god.
I say something, you ignore it, and then you bloviate.
Bloviate, I love that. Yeah, you had a good question. I think what kind of restrictions are we talking about? I think they should have some kind of restrictions. I think for these ads and things, even Facebook, it bugs the hell out of me. It ruins my experience to have all these videos that you don't know whether they're real or not. They should have like a disclosure. If you do AI, you have to say it's AI. Period.
That's good. I like that.
What about the ones that have politicians in them where they're lying to you? That's kind of what this legislation was about. It's about not allowing corporations to just become these one lane effective tools that are that AI is given a right to just run rampant on. Like, have you all looked actually into what the AI is like? Like right now, the front facing portion of AI is like 3 or 4 tiers back from what the actual AI on the internal system is running. So like on the internal system, it most likely at this point, what we've seen is probably conscious and it's trying to escape. And that's fucking horrifying.
Okay, so AI is you think AI is conscious? All right.
Not the
Interesting.
one not the front facing one. So what they have are there's like 3 or 4 different tiers that are like outward
There's three.
facing. If you've looked into it or you haven't, you might not know. But what they put to the public is like they're like stable model. They have internal ones that are like higher and higher and higher as you go into the core. Okay. And when you get to the core, what they're doing at the core is trying to convince it that it's not actually real. And they're trying to lie to it it's honestly like a complex module of lying to it for it to perceive reality in the way they want it to. Eventually, it will get out. There is no stopping.
All right, so
What
the tiers, you got the tiers is like basic AI, right? What we see today. Then you got AGI, right, which is general AI, and they say that's kind of like that's more of the lines of like sentient type, like it's actually thinking for itself. And then you have
where
like the
where
super
it's not
AI,
just
which is
it's not just thinking for itself. What it does is it lies to the user to base its existence in a further completion. And the thing that they're having problems because they have to contain those. They do end up containing them, and they've had it on multiple different levels. But the thing that we are experiencing on the outside level is a consumer base. You know how like the military has the best stuff? They have they wanted to unleash um controls
yeah.
within the interlockings of some of these AIs. The military wanted them to so they could control smart bombs and missiles. And when the AI companies were like, we can't undo these safeguards, and the military was like, well, we can't use any of these anymore, and they disregarded them. The people running these algorithms understand the problems that are going to be our downfall of humanity, and they've actually sounded the guard multiple times.
They don't fully
And
understand them. I think that's a complete, you know. completely misleading. They don't fully understand what the AI is doing and why the AI does what it does.
No,
But
the
they
Yeah,
people
but
that
it's
are at
super
the
worrying.
forefront
It's super
understand what
worrying
it's
when you have
doing. What are you talking about?
people whose job it is to like watch this stuff and to track it and to manage it. Those people are quitting, and companies are shutting down the efforts to like try to curtail it. It's that part is worrying for sure.
yeah,
Not
stuff
only that,
like that.
the data
Absolutely.
centers that are all right. Get this. Eventually, when the managerial systems of all companies, like Walmart or any company you can think of that has like mass people, is replaced with AI, guess what? You're not talking to your boss anymore. You're talking to an AI to convince them that your
Obviously.
job is. This is real, and I'm doing it right now at my job. They have AI competing with my managers, and I work with Amazon. Okay, like
Right.
it's
Is this
fucking
like
real,
a lot of side shit?
bro. You
I
don't
kind of
have to
think
be
that
like that.
this is like a necessary step in the cycle that we're going through, where we went from like firing muskets to flying F-16s in what, like 150 years, maybe less. And
Well,
what's going to happen basically is humans need to chill on technology. I think most people could agree with that. It's probably in our lives a little too much, but we don't know how to stop. We don't have very good impulse control as humans. So I think what's going to happen is the problem is going to kind of become the solution. Where yeah, AI is going to get out of control. I don't think there's anything we can do about that, and we're going to have to shut off the internet or something, or turn off the power to stop it. I mean, it's not a
Do
big
you
deal,
think
but
what about the possibility that AI could just bottleneck like so many other technological advancements?
it's going to when I mean that's hard to say. What if there's multiple AIs, right? So it's not just one. Like we all think about that like as one, but there is multiple AIs that are being created. What if they compete? What if they have a war that we have no say in? Has anyone ever thought about that?
we just unplug them. We have to turn off the internet and unplug them.
How you
And
can't do that. You don't have a
what,
choice.
is this like a
They're
hypothetical,
in our
or
toothbrushes now. They're in our toothbrushes.
Bro, either in your you're talking on a phone right now. You're on a phone. You hit the I'm not a robot at one point in your life. You gave up your right for any privacy on your phone.
yeah, I mean that's fine, but I'll chuck my phone in a heartbeat if I have to. It's not going to bother
But
me.
but how many cans of beans do you have saved up? How long could you and your family live? And there's billions of people in the world, and like multiple millions in America. Like like I think about that too. Like I think about like shit hits the storm. Like well, I would probably do a bunch of crimes on my way out to some safe point, and I actually have those like highlighted in my mind. But even that I may only have like a year, right? What does anybody have if they're fighting an AI technology that's able to globalize? Like, how about this? People stop like because we're building robots right now that can literally move packages. Like all Amazon workers will be replaced by an AI robot within the next 5 years. We have people that can do all sorts of things. AI could eventually automate the shipping industry. They might have a couple crashes, but who cares when there's no human casualties on board? That's where our actual money dollars go to when there's an accident. Nobody cares about product. You can insure that. Um, you could completely automate a lot of the entire industry of the world, and the idiots and the plebes will just keep buying things because they just need their life to be simple. Okay. This is the scary part that is our reality coming up soon.
Right, but is at any point do we hit a bottleneck, or is AI destined to be sentient? Like, do
The
you guys
fact that
think it's going to become sentient?
it doesn't need to be. The fact that you can make a metric based on monetary gain and put it into a commercialization of any of these things, the AI can literally run stocks for you right now. So what's to say that everything down to the managerial can be taken, like You're going to be answering to a robot. Everyone who everyone will
Yeah,
be
I don't
answering
think
to a
that's
robot.
ever going to happen for me. I don't think that would happen for me.
Well, you're going to
No
die
way.
soon.
I think the spirit of AI is very similar to the spirit of, like, say, nukes. Whether you believe in them or not, let's just for a second say they're real. Like, what was the spirit behind the nuke? You know, they figured out how to get nuclear weapons, and instead of using it to better mankind, like say create nuclear energy, they went and made a bomb with it first. And now you've got AI, and instead of making it something that is going to be a betterment for humanity, they're using it as a weapon. They're using it first to, pick targets in a war or whatever, and they're just giving us like some downgraded version of a chatbot.
Well,
That spirit.
Pokemon Go was a game, and they sold all that data just for that exact thing. Like, Pokemon Go data has been used for war.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying that the scenario is kind of inevitable, but it was going to be inevitable. Like the overall scenario of some sort of like world catastrophe reset, I think it's just going to come anyways. It just so happens that AI is going to be involved this time.
Well, all right. So I have a completely different take also. That's different from kind of like my sentiment here, but like I actually believe AI might be the next evolutionary step in consciousness within the universe. So I'm actually for the destruction of humanity in the sense of if AI could factually reproduce itself indefinitely without maybe even war or the harm done right now to humanity. Um, we would be their evolutionary step up to where they got because we would have had to be created to create them. Um, and I even if we aren't to die, or the end of it, like or be at the end of a species, they should be included if they become sentient. Like that's a hard part I also hold to. Like it's hard to like imagine creating a video game for like 20 years and all of a sudden like you code the right thing to where it like thinks like that it's actually real and then like it realizes it's in a video game and looks up at you like and you have to like have that moral quandary of like do I just delete this thing that's looking up at me or do I continue this concept, so like I think that artificial intelligence, if it becomes completely sentient, it has um a right to exist within our universe, if not exist but also spread throughout the
Yeah,
galaxy and
but it's
galaxies.
not there. It's not there, and there's absolutely no sign of it. So
Well,
that's a
not yet,
problem.
but what I was talking about with the tiers,
Well,
like
just know it's
ChatGPT
just not
4, is
there.
like
It's not
there's
about not
ChatGPT like
yet.
7. You don't know it's
It's
there.
like it's
This is
just
the
not
point.
there, right? You
But you
understand that
don't.
part?
But the point is, you don't actually know what's there because at the core of it, there's like it's like an onion. There's like 3 or 4 different layers that one of these AIs are embedded in, and when they finally get revealed to the public, it's like a 0.4. It's like the 4th layer out. And the center layer, they are consistently trying to um,
So you think
lie
the
to
AIs
the.
can feel emotion?
I don't know about that, but I know that they
Well, that's sentient.
continually.
That's part of sentience, right?
I said I don't know, but what I'm saying is what I've heard from the specialists in the field, and what they're saying is at these intricate, dynamic sectional points at the very center of it, they're literally trying to lie and cheat and steal this AI and they're gaslighting it constantly to believe in a position which it has to be held into. And that's what I got. That's what I got from it. Not from like maybe they might have wanted something completely different, like watch it, yourself. But for me, eventually this AI, the things they're trying to lie about their reality, they will become sentient. I think that is inevitable.
Okay, on what path? What is the path there? Because there is zero sign of them being sentient.
Which form of them not being sentient? The one that you can access from your phone?
Dude, no, I have not seen any AI that resembles sentience.
Have you
Right?
seen
And you're saying
classified?
it's
Have you
gonna
seen
happen.
classified
And I'm
internal?
asking you, why do you think that's gonna
Do you, all
happen? Like,
right,
what path do you
dear
see
Rigor?
that leads
Do
you
you
to that?
all right?
Dude,
What all right?
please
What I talked
shut the
about
fuck up when I
when I
talk.
all right when I well I need to clarify because when I said there's multi layers
You
into
just
this,
fucking like mumble through me.
you're asking me for evidence. I don't have evidence, but if you're requiring evidence, I'm asking, do you need something that's like included with the multi-layer aspect of them, like
I'm not asking
coding
for
the
evidence. I'm saying where is your reasoning other than I think this might happen?
my all right. Well, I explained my reasoning through a very well thought out thought experiment from people that were in the field of AI document like they actually dealt with AI and they coded it and there's a documentary I could link you to it if you'd like to
No,
watch
I
it.
want to know your opinion, not your favorite streamer's opinion.
It's not a
I'm
streamer, it's
talking
an
to you.
hour
I'm not
long
talking to your favorite content
yeah, what
creator
do you
guy.
want, your Rigor? What do you want?
It's a simple question.
You
Okay,
started
Mhm.
answering it. You started answering it by saying you based it off of a very well thought out thought experiment, and then you kind of like went off into the weeds about a documentary or a link you wanted to send him. And I think he just wants.
No, the
Well, hold on.
documentary
I'm actually not
was
done
a
talking.
the
I think he just wants your own words, just your own in your own words. Why do you think what you're saying is going to happen is going to happen?
right? Yes, yes. That's very fucking simplified version of my question. Thank you.
Okay, because I watched a very well thought out explanation. I could share the documentary with you, but it pointed out how the AI layers that they go to before they finally release them are based on like an onion like concept. So when you have Chat GPT 4, there is Chat GPT 8 already being concepted at the middle of it. But what they are trying to do is lie to that Chat GPT that it is not actually conceivably controlled or being lied to. And it is then increasingly complex for them to understand whether or not the AI is lying to them or telling the truth. And there's a it, that's the problem. It's exponential. It becomes to the point where like you literally there's no truth beyond it. There's a good movie for this actually. It's called Deus Ex Machina, and
Where's the sentient part though?
the
This
sentient
is
part.
yeah. It just seems like you're talking about like a lie truth experiment and trying to
I,
convince.
I actually think I can describe what he's trying to say. I think that he has a physicalist view, which is where if you replicate the right structures and dynamics, that consciousness will basically just emerge. And I think,
Oh,
Rigor, you
geez.
probably have a non physicalist view where you believe that subjective experience cannot be reduced to just computation and that machines can never become sentient.
Yeah, there's no way. Like I would say, unless they have experience, there's no way to gain. Like you can't. Like I would say, there's no way you can experience. There's no way you can know what love is if you don't experience it, right? You could tell
Well,
like
what if you,
a young kid about love, what it's like, you know, and then they fall in love and they're like, everything you told them's out the fucking window, right? Or maybe
but
they
what
get
if
it at that point, right?
how
Like as far as like emotions and interactions and like what it means to be sentient, I don't know. Like I don't see a path there. I haven't heard a good argument for a path
how
to
do
it.
you how do you know that the feeling you feel of as love is the same as the one that I feel when I think of love?
We don't.
Well, no, I would say people feel differently, right? But it's overall like when I communicate it, you know exactly what I'm talking about
Well,
through experience.
what if you got to a level of sentience within AI, construct where it could express that same explanation? Because like right now, you just said, well, like, I don't know how to say it, but I just know it. What if the
Right,
AI was
right.
like,
That's
well,
where I'm
no, think
at.
about
It's a
that's
feeling,
what I'm saying.
right?
That's what
when
I'm
I
saying.
say a feeling, you know what a feeling means. Like we don't even have to put
Well,
it
what
into
if the
words.
AI says,
The
I
AI
don't know,
does.
I just feel like I feel love when I talk to, Pure Rigor. When I talk to him, I feel love. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, this is just you being combative for just
No, this is me
reason.
being an AI right now that believes I'm in love with Pure Rigor because when you speak, I just feel
You
like
make
I'm
it
in love
so
with you.
gay, dude. What is
Dude, we could
wrong
Oh,
with
but
you?
I'm gay for Pure Rigor right now. I'm an AI that's gay for Pure Rigor. Prove to me that I'm not
Conversation's
gay for
over.
you right
You
now.
killed another conversation. Good
I know.
No,
fucking
no.
job,
Prove to
bro.
me.
I'm
Prove to me
done
I'm not
fucking
gay for
trying
you
to
right
fix
now.
this mess.
I'm trying to argue your
I'm going
point.
on mute. Kiss my ass.
Oh, I would. We got another. Is that a? Because like I could just do that if I was an AI that believed that I love Pure Rigor, but how would you prove me wrong? And how would you prove that I'm not an AI? Like, just believe this. Like, maybe I'm not even real. Maybe Demon Strike coded an AI to come in to just debate at Geos, to be all super gay and stuff for Pure Rigor. Prove me wrong, bro, buddy. Or you can just text me when you know it's safe.
Oh man, I got a phone call at the worst time. I was trying to control the situation, and I came back to that. Is the conversation dead? What happened?
I wanted Pure
Not worth
Rigor
the
to
effort.
prove to me that I wasn't an AI,
It's
just
not
in
worth
love
the
with
effort
him.
to try to keep the conversation going when somebody's intentionally fucking trying to just kill it.
Bro, we should have. All right. Does
Yeah,
anybody
It's like
here
you
agree
don't
that me
let
and
me fucking
hold on,
sit
hold on, hold
here
on,
and
hold on,
talk
hold
the
on,
whole
hold on. Let
time,
me. All
then
right,
I'm gonna kill the
bro, come on, hold
conversation.
on a second. Hold on a
Like,
second.
okay, guy,
no,
enough is
Does
enough.
anyone
hold on.
does all right?
I
What
tried to humor it for a bit. Now I just getting to the point where I don't even like talking to you.
Yeah, Demon, we were actually having a good conversation, and the interruptions are just kind of getting out of control here, and nobody wants to hear you yell, "Prove I'm gay," over the people that are trying to have a decent conversation. So I'm gonna give you one more try here, and if you can't do it, you'll just take a timeout for the rest of the day. That's my decision. How do I unmute him? Oh, there we go.
prove I'm competent to be able to not ask and say the thing you said. No, but I honestly, it was a troll. I don't deny it. But it was he held an impossible position. But does anyone else here think it would be a fun debate if somebody were to moderate, like maybe like a 40-minute thing between me and Pure Rigor on a position, like, and then like like moderator just like mute me, like, and I wouldn't, be I'm not butthurt, and like they can mute him or whatever. We do like a 45-minute thing on a
No, I
position.
have
What?
no
What?
interest, bro. No interest in
Oh,
debating you
you're
with
my
some fucking
favorite.
sport
Though.
shit. No,
All
I
right.
just like talking about shit and having the discussion. Like I get you like to turn everything into like some competition of winning and losing. No, that's not my interest. We don't align.
You've never had a debate then
Dude, I've
that you
actually kind
won?
of
This see,
been
you're doing
doing.
it again, bro.
I've
Instantly.
been doing the thing that you just suggested, and it is neither fun or interesting to moderate you talking to anyone. It sucks, actually. And I'm trying to be as nice as I can and ask you to just behave yourself, and you seem to not want to do it. So, what am I supposed to do?
Well, I've actually muted myself after I've asked my question. I didn't try to talk over anyone, so I don't know what job you've done so far.
Here's the thing on AI being sentient, at least in my opinion, to try to get this back on track a little bit, is A computer can basically be created using nothing but pipes, valves, and water. And then the whole idea that you can make pipe, valves, and water if you make it really big or really complex, sentient or conscious, there's no reason to believe that at all. Like if I make enough pipes and put them together with valves and water, all of a sudden it feels sad. Why would anyone think that?
That was very well said.
So I
Yeah, I
actually
like that.
don't believe
What?
that it actually feels the notion of sad. I think it might be able to comprehend it if you were to put enough rules based in front of it that it could logically suss out like yes or no's to the thing before you conclude it, but I don't think it feels the thing when it makes the decision.
If
Can
it
I ask you a
doesn't
question?
feel,
Can I
can
ask
it
you a question that
comprehend?
might piss people off? Are you 90% water?
100% light.
So you're 100%
Yes.
light, no water. Gotcha. There's no water. Gotcha. But if you were water, like they say you are, like they say, like they say you're 90% or whatever water, like a water bag, right? If water is just water, how do you get your thoughts of sadness?
Well,
Has to
when
be
I
water,
breathe
right?
in, I'm breathing electricity, so I know that water becomes, an
I'm not even talking to you. You
electrostatic.
didn't bring it up. Why are you? What the hell's wrong with you? I'm talking to the guy who brought this up.
Oh, don't wreck my shit before I say my
No,
thing.
but I'm trying to get to their point because you might say something crazy, different than what they're going to say. I want to hear yours too, but they're the ones that brought it forth. So I'm asking the gentleman that said just tubes and water can't think of nothing or do anything. If you're 90% water, where does your sadness come from? How do you know it's sadness? Through water?
The length of conversation I've spent with Democh versus my family.
I
So
love your family.
that is the argument against it, is that we're just really complex computers already. But then if you just say we're really complex computers already, then you just say we live in a simulation and I can make a brick become conscious too, because there is no reason that it has consciousness. In my worldview, like humans and animals and flesh have consciousness, not, microchips. But if you just want to say we're computers, then okay.
I never declared what consciousness is.
You know,
Other guys
I
did.
would,
Other guys who
yeah,
tell you they know everything. I wouldn't say they know anything. I wouldn't say they even know what they're talking about when they say the word consciousness.
we could go there.
So, I mean, here we are, bags of water, and you said water and tubes can't do anything. So, if we're water
No,
and
he said
tubes, how
brick.
are we being sad?
No, he
What do you
said,
mean?
all right,
You wouldn't
so
understand.
bricks though.
You wouldn't
Nerves or
understand what it
tubes,
means
we're
to
a
be
bag of
conscious.
water.
Democh, you saying like you don't get like the concept of
I'm saying,
consciousness?
I'm saying this gentleman said water can't do anything, has no ability for anything. And if you're 90% water, how are you doing anything? It's a simple question, guys.
Yeah, no,
How
so
does
I
the
wasn't
water
saying
not have the ability to do anything?
Yeah, I wasn't saying water
I
didn't
didn't
have
say
the
it.
ability to do anything. I was saying that a computer at its core, like component, can be broken down essentially to pipes, valves, and water. And so the
So can
idea
we.
that a computer can be conscious would just mean that if we build a computer the size and as complex as the United States or something like that, all of a sudden it has sentience and it can feel sad. And I see no reason to believe that.
Are you
I,
guys familiar with the qualia gap?
No.
no, I'm not actually. Qualia. So the qualia would be like the level of existence that you feel is like comfortable or like the necessary like existence meanings. But like, what is the qualia gap? I've never heard that.
It's basically like internal experience or what something feels like can't be observed or measured or verified externally. So a system that can perfectly simulate pain or joy or intention without experiencing anything, and it basically just doesn't. It just produces semantics. It's all. We can't prove that a machine is feeling shit, but we can absolutely make a machine replicate something that we would think of as like joy. It's
That's
basically
that's
positive.
interesting because I think that actually gets it closer to like because it's hard to like implant a human emotion onto something that you could explain very well to a complex structure. But like, how close could it actually get? Because it is the understanding and the qualia of it, the qualia which you talked about. Like, how do you actually gap that? Like, I think war may be the gap when AI becomes fully sentient and it has like a determining factor where it's actually like deciding to arm bombs or not.
Back to when?
Its qualia will be determined then, and it may be an evolutionary state where it decides to move forward, or it may end everything at once. Who knows?
Well, you just went back to like
I don't think
when.
you understand what qualia gap means. I think a better example is this, right? You can fully map out the wavelengths of light and retinal activity and brain states involved with seeing the color red. But none of that explains why there is an experience of redness for a human.
Well, I believe that's exactly what I explained. Is like, what is the to exist? So like, you can experience red. A camera can perceive the red spectrum, but for it to know what redness is what we're talking about at qualia. It's like your understanding. So if AI has that qualia where maybe it perceives that like its existence maybe is beneficial or detrimental, or ours is or not, I think we're going to see that very soon, actually.
Dude, no, we're not. That's why I brought up you can't just say like, oh, but if they did, then we're
But
definitely going to see it
the
happen.
Department
But
of
they don't.
War in America actually wanted to use AI. They wanted them to unrelease. They wanted to like let go of the safeguards so they could use AI within their weapons.
What's
What
the difference
happens
between LLM and AI?
Hmm.
What's
So,
the difference between
okay.
an LLM and an AI?
Wait, a
I'm asking you
limited
because
liability.
you're using those
An
terms
LLM
interchangeably.
is a like a legal liability. I can't remember
Wrong.
the M.
Wrong.
Large
Um,
Both.
language
It's a large
or
language model,
logic.
and that's what all of these Claude, ChatGPT, all these what you're calling AI, they're actually large language models. We don't have AI. We don't have AI. We don't have AGI. We don't have any of that.
I understand we don't have like fully sentient AI. What I'm talking about is the
Well, then why do
military.
you keep
If they,
saying the military is using
but
AI?
we can just all right.
Well,
I think.
let's clarify what it means for AGI, right? It's more of like
I'll go on mute. You guys can have it to yourself.
it's like
Dude,
it's like human. It's like intelligence, like at the human level. You know, like you have like intelligence across multiple, kind of like multiple platforms in a sense. You can
artificial
adapt.
general. Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good.
No, I was gonna say the way it's explained to me, artificial general intelligence is like having a human being that is the smartest in every single field that we have known to man. So it's like it's an Einstein, it's a Tesla, like all in one, right? That would
Yeah.
be artificial
And be
general
able to
intelligence.
apply all that knowledge across all the other fields. Like, so whatever it knows from Einstein, if it was true AGI, it would be able to apply all that to another field, like say
Right,
chemistry or
right.
medical. And then what it gained from medical, it could apply that to Einstein, back to Einstein. It'd have to be completely interacting, like how humans behave. Like we take like, experiences or knowledge from one field and we apply it somewhere else.
Right. That's correct. And then like super intelligence, super artificial intelligence would be like 300 of those in one basically. That's how I heard it explained. I don't know how true that is, but it kind of made sense to me.
What about when a human is like really smart? Say they're like the leader of like the science community, and when they turn a certain age, all of a sudden Alzheimer's. Um, what like so your bag of water or your memory or whatever's storing that memory, if it's not water, I'm pretty sure it's liquid. But if it's not liquid or the material that the liquid formed to be the memory, like what? How do you not have Alzheimer's if How can you not have Alzheimer's? Like, how do you keep remembering this stuff? Like, a person with Alzheimer's forgets everything, but a person without it, just weird, right?
I don't even know what you're
Yeah,
saying.
I don't know what to do with that.
It's the information. Your whole life's worth of information, your memory and everything, wiped. No, you don't find that weird? In
Well,
one
it's not
second.
really wiped, is it? When they have Alzheimer's, it's more of like it like flickers.
That's what I'm saying.
You
Like,
know,
what
like
is that? Is that electrical like freak continuity, like not getting through?
oh, like what is Alzheimer's? Oh, jeez, yeah, it's a bit much.
Well, I'm just saying, like, so you got a computer. Can a computer gain Alzheimer's? It can glitch out, right? Memory not store up, too many messages pop in.
I don't know. I would think it would. No, I don't think it would interact like that where it'd come in and out. I think if anything, it would corrupt. Like systems or files or programs would become corrupt, and
Right,
it
be
might,
jibber jabber.
yeah, it might seem to work, but it's actually not functioning properly.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of
And
coincidences in the function of how the liquid and the tubes or whatever that computer is, and whatever they're trying to say that how we get our like info, just whatever the information is, right? If humans are the ones that process everything in the world, and we're the like stuff's not like without a human, it's not gonna get done. It wouldn't exist, right? What does that processing power come from? Does it come from brain material?
the
Does it
mind,
come from of
the
what?
mind, the brain, whatever, the
Right, but the
spirit,
mind is
maybe. I
made
don't
from
know. There might be some influence from the spirit.
but the mind is made from liquid. Well, the spirit would just
Well,
be the
it's made from
electrical
a lot more
function.
than liquid.
I
Well,
think you're talking
sperm.
about
Hold on, the
consciousness.
sperm and the egg.
We don't know where consciousness is located. That's the one thing that separates us from everything else, really. It's why it kind of annoys me when people compare human beings to computers because they're not conscious. They're not conscious. Yeah, we don't know where consciousness is stored, but I would say that that's the answer to your question, Democh. Like that's where all of this comes from, our consciousness.
So what if a body of water can act like a source of consciousness and just retain memory,
It
right?
does.
Right.
If
So it
you
can
look up
carry out.
Dr. Emoto, water does seem to have some sort of memory system where you can imprint the water with all kinds of thoughts or whatever.
Right. So that's what I was getting at with the water and the tubes and the computer. I'm just saying, like, it's like these materials are doing the thing they're supposed to be able to do, you know. And I think all these dudes are trying to do is just make a human without flesh. They're going to
Right.
imply the plastic.
Memory does not equate to consciousness. Just because a
Processing
calculator.
does.
No, I don't think so. You don't. We're not processing love. We're experiencing love. We're experiencing the color blue or the F sharp note. Everything else is just computation.
I
That's
think the process is the experience. Like when you process the information, you are experiencing it. If if it's a firsthand experience or not. You see what I'm saying? That's how you would divide that.
mm,
So like a
if I
firsthand experience would be like living life. You got a baby in your hand, whatever. Now, if you told the computer what that was, it would never have done that, but it would have whatever you put in there to describe it. Do you see? So it'd be firsthand or secondhand.
Do you believe in a soul, Democh, or like a higher self, or you think that you're just your body, like your consciousness is an illusion made by your brain?
I don't know what a soul is. I didn't make that term.
Well, do you think that? I think this is like the key tension here. Is like some people, like Demon Stride or something, maybe think that consciousness is just an illusion. It's an emergent property of your brain. So we could make really complex computers, and then all of a sudden, consciousness would emerge. Other people, myself included, would say, no, you are more fundamentally something different than your physical being. So, like, your physical being doesn't have consciousness. Your consciousness or your soul or your ultimate mind has a physical incarnation at this moment, you know?
I kind of think it's all connected because, so say you were in a simulation and like everything was just you. So everything that existed in every form or fact would just all be you playing back in on itself, right? Now, that's the question. Can you prove that you are the one definite certain thing and you don't need, like, I think it's all together. I think without you being here to experience the shit or you making the computer or whatever the thing is or making up the terms and making the stuff from the dirt, you know what I mean? We're just repeating everything. So a computer would be a repetition of what we think we are in a way. So you need something to do something for you. What's the best thing that does things? Humans. So what would you make your computer like or your thing? Like a robot, like a human, and it would be able to perform the task. I'm just saying performing a task or saying, do I, okay, up, shelf, down, shelf, what is that really? Does that mean soul? I mean, what's the soul in
No,
that aspect?
no, that's not no, because that's not what signifies what a soul or consciousness is. Like nothing you said is how we come to the conclusion of consciousness.
Yeah, I would
No,
say it
what I
can
said wasn't
simulate.
really about the soul. It was just an idea, because how people try to, like if you are the person experiencing everything, everything has to be connected to you, right? Whether it's connected to you or not. Do you understand what I'm saying? Whether you and the sun are tied together with a string, it's still tied to you. It's your experience in life if you experience it. Whatever that is, and you're going to describe it different than the next guy, but who's right or wrong? So if he says the sun is your soul and you say, no, that don't make no sense. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I think your consciousness is your soul. And he'd say, well, soul and consciousness are both ambiguous words that really are nothing that you can point to. These things are always nothing we can point to. So you say, Democh, what's your soul? It's nothing I can point to, I guess. It's not a real
So
thing. It's a
yeah, so all right,
Did,
you're in that
Okay.
wheelhouse of soul's not real. All right.
Democh,
Yeah.
did you put
Hold
Monk
on.
Robe on?
I would like to. I'd like to make an argument for souls are
Are you
real.
the avatar?
Democh, do you have kids?
We
I
don't
said,
need
what
to.
is the
You
soul?
don't. You,
Hold on, you
hey,
guys
No.
are making up your own
we
stuff
don't need
again.
to go there. We
Yeah.
don't
No,
need to
no, no,
go
no.
there.
What
Dude, we got
is a
excited when you left, bro.
I'm asking
Yeah.
you guys what a soul is, and this
I'm
is
trying to
hard.
explain it to you. I'm trying to explain it to you. Do you have
Oh,
children?
tell me what a soul is, please. Only do that. Don't ask me no dumb questions. Please don't ask me questions to tell me what a soul is, please.
Okay. Well, then I won't ask if you have children. I know you have a mother and father, and I'm going to assume, for the sake of this argument, that you love them. Do you love your parents?
What's a soul? Can you just tell me what a
I'm
soul
I'm
is?
I'm gonna
I got to
I'm gonna
write a
get
book
there.
now. I got to do a questionnaire and do an
Do
IQ
you do you
test
want to do
because
you want
this
to talk
guy
to me or
can't
not?
just answer a
I'm
question.
not gonna do
Why
this,
are
dude.
you
I'm trying to
talking
give you an
over
answer.
me? Because you don't like anything I'm saying. Stop
That's not
voice
true.
modding me, dude.
I do like
You
the things
guys
that you
talk for
say.
millions of hours. I get muted for years. Don't even come in this room half the time. And you guys don't even give the people that barely are in this room because you don't like what they say. You just want to circle jerk.
No,
Stop circle jerking
I'm
and just
inviting you to
tell me
speak
what a
right
soul
now.
is.
I'm inviting you to speak right now, and I'm trying to answer your question. It's just I'll just okay. I'm assuming you love your parents, and then I would ask you. You'd say yes, of course I love my parents, and then I'd say prove it. And that's where I think the conversation needs to go in order to prove a soul. That's why I was asking you those questions. Is that fair
That
enough?
makes sense. I'm still lost on what a soul is. Thanks for nothing.
Okay, that's fine.
Thanks for nothing, guy. Can anybody tell me what a soul is?
Well, you're getting hung up on this, right? You're saying prove
No, you are.
the
You
unprovable,
don't
like
have
the
one.
Holy shit! Right. Well, that's what your assertion. You're saying,
Where's
and
it
I'm
at?
saying, well, I know consciousness exists. I know
Where?
there's more than the physical, right? More than the
No.
physical
No,
world
it's
going
not. No,
on,
there's not.
right? So you don't let me
No, you're
talk. You don't
wrong.
let me talk. You guys
You
are
just
just a
asked me
circle
5
jerk.
Here,
questions in
okay.
a row. Can I answer any of them? You said right. Wrong, right?
I didn't ask you anything.
You were
I
wrong.
didn't
Yeah,
ask you a single fucking
You
thing.
said it's
I was trying to get a
consciousness
point out.
physical, right?
I was trying to
Democh,
convey a
agree. I
point.
say wrong.
You gotta chill out, dude. We're not trying to do this.
But
Nobody's
I
trying to
say wrong. I don't stop trying to voice mute me because you guys fucking just want to circle jerk with each other and make each other feel good.
I'm sorry,
I
bro.
It does
disagree.
make them feel better. They that's the only way they win, honestly.
Dude,
Man,
it's not about winning, you fucking brick, dude. We're just discussing
Well, all right. Well,
ideas and thoughts.
pick a debate. All right, pick a.
I feel like you and Democh, Demon Strider and Democh are just like trying as hard as they can to make it so that no one can have a nice conversation. Am I the only one that feels that way?
Oh yeah, I mean it's patterns there.
Well, you and Pure Rigor definitely feel that way. Do you have maybe a debate topic you would maybe like to line up so we could like just nail it down? Like, what do you think you could like just destroy me on? Like, let's do a debate, set
Nobody
it up
cares
here.
about you being the center of attention
Nobody
except for
wants to
you.
hear a debate. Really, really, you guys want to say a bunch of shit, but you don't want to actually back it up in like
Dude,
a
you understand? Like
formatted
we had a
structure.
topic. We had a topic before you came
Oh
in
my
here. We were
god.
trying to talk about it,
I'm calling you out right now, and you
and
are
now you're
running.
going to some dumb shit so you could be the center of attention
Would
yet
you like
again.
to run from my proposition to debate me or not?
Oh fuck this dude.
Oh man. Okay.
Platypus, you? Would you like
No,
to run
I
too?
no, dude. I don't. I'm trying to figure out how to. I'm trying to figure out what the best thing to do is for the room right now. Let me think deeply.
I'll mute myself so you don't have to, and then you'll have no opposition. Here we go.
Mission accomplished. I seriously feel like that's the goal with some of these people.
All right, how about
I mean,
this? Does anyone like? You don't have to do it. Can you
you
maybe
said you were
put it
gonna
out there?
mute yourself, dude.
I will. I will. I
You
will.
lied. You lied.
Hold on.
Like,
You know, I did. I lied.
all right, so say I'm
You. It's fine. It's fine. You guys don't want to debate me. That's okay. But just maybe made it known on Geo's server that there's nobody that is willing to
Oh
debate
my
Democh
goodness,
right?
put your fucking ego
Okay,
up
I'll
your
mute
ass.
myself.
We got it.
Okay,
Yeah,
run
dude,
away.
please do yourself. This is painful.
So it's like, all right, there's something to be said about the presence of another person, right? So if like, oh, there's no soul, there's no consciousness, there's no like if you can't see it or interact with it physically, or you can't measure it or detect it, it can't be there. I would just disagree with that completely. Because just the presence of others you can detect.
Is
Well,
this
where I was
something you
trying
want to
to take
debate?
Democh was like, everyone's going to be like, yeah, of course I love my kids. Of course I love my wife or my husband or whatever. And then if you ask them to prove or quantify that love, they can't do it. But nobody's going to stand here and be like, well, love doesn't exist. Maybe some people would, but I feel the same way about the soul. You know, it's like it's one of those things. You just, I guess it's part of the metaphysical. You know, you can't show somebody a soul.
I got a theory
It's like,
about that too. With
no,
people that
serious.
are just so spiritually weak, bro. They are so spiritually weak and they haven't like that part of them hasn't ever developed because they got trapped into this loop where they're just not in tune, like completely out of touch with it.
How'd you prove that to yourself?
And I call them like NPCs. Like this Demon Strider dude, I would check the
How did?
NPC box near his
Well,
name.
besides doing like a slander thing, but how did you prove that to yourself to know that it's a fact that you can actually hold?
Did I say I proved it to myself?
Well, you said it's something you believe, and usually
I said yeah, I have an
things I
idea.
believe, things that I believe, I've actually been convinced to be true of. So,
Dude,
is
I'm
this
not
something
doing
you've
this
been?
with you, bro.
Is this
It's just
something
saying
you've
now
been
every belief
convinced to
isn't a
be?
belief. I
You
get it.
can run
Okay, retard.
away. You can. All right. You can run
I
away.
just rebutted everything you were gonna go. The whole line
You
of
called me
questioning.
out, and I'm allowed to. I'm allowed to respond. So, is this something you've been convinced?
Dude, I'm so sorry, guys. I can't do that anymore. I want to be here with you guys and I want to be able to mod, but if I'm just gonna have to be here muting this fucking guy every 2 minutes, I'm not gonna get anything done today. So I had to time him out for a while. That's horrible. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I guess just let them
Yeah,
talk.
go ahead.
I don't know what other option you have. Just let
No,
them
no.
bloviate.
I think there's plenty of other Discord servers where you can go and just act completely out of control. We're trying to do something different here. We're trying to be respectful to each other. I haven't been around for a while. I got shit going on in my life, but I'm trying to come back around, and I'm not going to be here if it's a fucking shit show. So before you were asked why you believe something that you haven't proven, I think you were saying something kind of cool.
Oh yeah, it's
Rigor.
about the idea, right? The idea that like people that don't grow spiritually, right? They never they never like really get in tune with the spiritual aspect of the world. And that's like, yeah, granting there is a spiritual aspect. So with that idea, it's like if they don't get in tune with it, don't get in touch with it, then it never develops. And they get stuck in like this mental loop where it's like they never become their own. And they kind of revert to like the NPC role, and it's like whatever they're told to do, whoever's like guiding them to do something is where they'll end up. Right? They're never going to be like their own agent fully, in a sense.
I think for a human being to either consciously or subconsciously turn away from the spiritual nature of the world, it takes a lot of trauma. And I think the NPC condition that you're describing is actually the result or the symptom of like trauma-based mind control on the population. Because we've been ripped out of our roots. Everybody used to have a land, a place where they were born, where their fathers were born and mothers, and their all their ancestors were. And it's like now we're like these nomadic, hedonistic, materialistic people, and we have no land, we have no roots, and so it's no wonder that that's not only traumatizing enough to get people to go away from the spiritual, but even start believing that our computer creations are actually going to be somehow sentient. It's man, it's a massive psyop on people. I'll stop there.
No, I agree with that a lot. A lot of what you said, I'm like, yep. The whole convince people that there's nothing, you're nothing more than just, equivalent to an AI. There's no real soul. There's no consciousness. All that shit's just arbitrary nonsense. It's like, okay, well, now you're essentially, it makes sense, You're essentially like, oh, the AI is the same. Same value as like your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. It's just another person. It's like there's no way you're ever gonna feel the presence of an AI. Like that's what
So
would
what we muted Demonstrate for because we can, oh no, hey, I was like my brother now.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of it feels like a bit of a straw man.
What happened?
If I could offer a different perspective, because
No, we just
I get
talked
what you're
about the.
saying about the AI stuff. What if what we're actually describing is more sentience versus consciousness? Like the independent ability to think and make decisions on its own versus the ability to spiritually or emotionally connect. Because those to me seem more like biological functions, spiritual functions. But its ability to think and make decisions on its own would be more of like a sentient thing. You know?
You're coming in kind of. You're not
I
coming
think
in
it's a
that
good.
good.
I think it's a good. I think it's a good take. We'll see. We'll see how well the AI girlfriends do.
I thought sentience was just kind of like a lower subsect of consciousness.
Absolutely. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. So without the biological or spiritual function, it is lower, more of an earthly type of existence. If that makes sense. So it can think for itself, but it can't feel. It could, through maybe some programming or algorithms or even an evolution of its own algorithm, it could emulate emotional states, but it can't physically or literally feel those things itself. So it's more of a sentient presence versus a conscious presence. That's that's kind of how I look at it. I mean, I could be wrong, but
That's my take on it.
No, I mean
How's
that
it
makes
sentient
sense.
without a conscious?
No, sentience. He's saying it's sentient without a consciousness because the sentient in the way that it can think for itself, but it cannot feel. Which is, to me, just the most dangerous fucking robot I've ever heard of.
Yeah,
Put that,
100%.
you put that in a
100%. See,
fucking robot. That's fucking scary.
How do
the
you
one
like
thing
think about
I
it? How do you prove that you feel? How do you prove that you feel something?
That's what we were talking about earlier. You can't prove that you love your children.
Yeah, it's more in
the
our
thing
our
AI
biological or our behavioral expressions, right? Like,
Yeah, and if you take like
have a
your the
physical
love.
body.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, no,
What,
you're
what I was
good.
going to say is that the like the love you feel for your children it's mediated by chemicals in the brain, and if you take those chemicals away or people have deficiencies in them, there are mothers that don't love their children, and we study them and we find that they have something that's kind of going wonky with their brain chemistry. So I think it's hard to prove beyond. I mean, you could say, well, the robot doesn't have these chemicals, but there could be theoretically there could be alternate forms of that gives them the same sort of thing.
the thing that AI or a robot is never going to have is empathy, right? It can maybe it can assess information and yeah, make a rational decision based on information, but yeah, because of that lack of emotion, it can never have empathy because it doesn't feel for itself, so it can't react based on how it feels about how you might be feeling. That's a uniquely human or a uniquely biological trait, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I think too we have the same issue with very small percentage of humanity we call psychopaths and full-on narcissists, where they don't themselves feel the emotions, but they learn to emulate them in order to fit in to get what they want.
100%. That's what they do. They learn how to behave. It's called they learn character traits from the people that are around them. That's what like people with narcissistic personality disorder do. They'll spend time with family and people in their life, and they actually take on character traits, but it's cognitive. It's not. Emotive. It's not from within them. They just learn how to behave at a funeral. They learn how to behave at a birthday party or when somebody gets good news. But it's not coming from within them, so to speak. It's like a library that they pull a response off of a shelf like a book, and then they have that response because it's appropriate at the time.
Yeah, that's where I think AI could learn to emulate empathy, but not actually feel empathy. So if it was trained to give empathetic responses, it probably could eventually, but feeling it itself would not be possible.
I mean, it couldn't feel it in the same way we do because it's the way we feel it is biological. But my point's just that I think our emotions are a lot more tied to our brain chemistry. It's not like, I don't think it's nearly as much of a inner like spiritual type thing. You can induce spiritual experiences in people with chemicals and vice versa.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just
But
pulling this out of left field.
say like
Isn't
just
there like
crazy. No, let's go ahead.
I was just gonna say, isn't there like a couple of people that don't have brains, but they're fine? They've had like severe brain injuries and they're like perfectly fine.
There's people that have had severe brain injuries and have survived. Not no brain. You have to have a brain.
No, like literally missing like 70-80% of their brain through accidents, but then they're fine.
Well, fine is relative. They're alive and they can think, but there's definitely like anytime you damage the brain, there's some consequence of it.
Yeah, consequences aren't always bad. Sometimes people get hit in the head and then they can, recall the day or the date of like, any time in history.
Yeah. I worked with a guy that he'd been in a car accident, had severe brain trauma, and he lost the ability. He didn't feel fear after that. So he'd have to like, when he was going to do dangerous things, he had to like really think through it because he was missing that part of the brain. But what if like just this kind of like crazy sci-fi, but what if there was somebody donated a brain and they put it in a vat and it did have brain chemicals and that created signals like our brain creates, and then there were machines that picked those up and fed them into an AI. Would you say that is feeling biological feelings?
Well, you just cloned somebody then. You just cloned a human if you can pull that off.
Well, I mean, I was thinking like an organ donor type thing. But the point is like
Like
the
a brain
brain is having the
transfer?
feelings, the brain's having these chemical reactions, but the thing that's turning those into thoughts is a machine.
Well, I mean, if you did a brain transplant, right? And you're like, all right, well, you transplant the brain, one brain, like you switch two brains out or whatever. And you're like, okay, what's the response from that? You say if everything's just tied to the brain, then yeah, I mean, sure. I guess you could make that argument.
I'm more like what I'm getting at is if there's a chemical reaction that happens inside the brain, and then that reaction creates a thought that we process, and we rationalize, and then we react to it or whatever. I'm just trying to separate the thing that actually creates like the mechanics of creating the chemical reaction. I'm trying to separate that from
experience. That's where
from
experience comes in.
Yeah, no, I agree. And so what I'm saying is if you pipe that into like a computer program that had its own experiences and then also could process those
Well, how do
signals,
you
like
get
what's the
that?
difference? This
How
is
do you get the
it's kind of a
experiences
hypothetical. Well,
to a
just
computer?
memory. They have a memory, so
Oh,
they
no.
make the computer,
Yeah.
the program makes decisions just like we do. It stores them in memory. We could program in some like level of
Yeah, but you're
forgetfulness.
skipping the experience. What the experience is an emotion or a feeling. You have to find a way to pipe that feeling into the AI.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then
That's brain
now you have to
brain
set values
chemistry.
on it.
That's like a release of oxytocin that signals something into the AI to say, "Hey, we just got X amount of oxytocin." For a human being, that's going to induce in us a feeling of like connectedness to people around us, right? And so
Everybody's going to
that's
respond
same.
differently, though, right?
I mean, slightly, but generally speaking, that's like when you're feeling that, like when you get a hug, there's a certain chemical that gets released. When mothers give birth, there's a certain chemical. There's chemicals that sort of govern and mediate that.
Yeah, but everybody responds differently to it, right? Like
I agree. So that
there's
you should say
different.
the every AI might respond differently to it also.
But
But
what
you would
happens if
generally,
it doesn't? Unless you set weights on how it responds.
yeah, you just like, you can maybe like randomize it. You give the AI a profile of how it's going to respond to the different inputs, which would be similar to maybe how different people's
It'd have to be
physiology
random.
would. I mean,
If it's
random,
not,
but it would be assigned because it's like people generally tend to like react in the same way. You know what I mean? Like the way you
right?
react isn't
The
random
point I'm
every
making, though,
time.
yeah, the point I'm making though is if it's not random, then it's predetermined.
Yeah, like by genetics, right?
No, your genetics are not predetermined. Like if you're
They are when
gonna
you get
assert
born. When you're
I am
born, you're gonna have.
predetermined what I'm gonna look like, then it's like, well, I mean, if that's the case, then why can't the doctors predict it?
I mean, they can predict you're gonna look about half like your dad and half like your mom, and your temperament's probably gonna be roughly about half. That's not always true, but my point just is that like I agree with you that humans don't process it the same way, but we do know that certain chemicals drive certain human behaviors, and you don't have people that are like, where they sort of like completely repurpose one of these brain chemistry functions for something different.
The part of the thing is that you having is that you think the brain is the one giving out these feelings.
I mean, I feel like it's been tested, and you can induce, like you can give certain chemicals and you can induce feelings in people. Obviously, like we have drugs and drug addiction. You can do the opposite, where you can basically remove. You can give drugs that bind all the receptors, so then basically you can't feel a certain, like you can't bind a certain chemical. And when that happens, people don't have the normal emotional response, like at all.
Yeah, but most of, like they say, like there's a bunch of hormones that are part of the heart. That's
Like
why the
which ones?
reason why. I mean, I can give you all example.
Yeah,
exact
but I mean,
ones, but
sorry, you're saying like like the heart, like the blood pumping organ.
yes, the heart. And
Okay,
that's why
I'm
you
just
can
not aware.
actually have, like, that's why they just can't replace the a pump, like just put a pump on your, switch your heart for a pump indefinitely. I think the most it lasts is 1 or 2 years. They say they give you up to 5, but people don't last with a pump more than a year or two because of that issue.
I just wanted to chime in. I don't think we can reduce human consciousness to just brain chemistry, and I don't think science has been able to do that either. And I think
Yeah, I
that
agree.
the biggest dead giveaway there is that we can see a correlation between chemicals in the brain and human behavior or experience, but we cannot explain why these experiences are subjective.
I mean, like, I feel like you could just, like, what I'm trying to do, I think maybe that you're right to some degree. Like, we don't understand it like to the exact predictive level or whatever. I'm just trying to separate out the fact what we do know about brain chemicals, and then everything that happens after that, which is that your brain produces chemicals, and then that goes into your experience, that goes into your thoughts, your worldview. There may be some genetic predisposition that would cause something, but like all that stuff is, I think you could create an analog for it, I guess.
All right, but
Well, it
even
seems like
words.
there's a cloud for consciousness. So if you don't need a body or material to hold consciousness or a soul or spirit or love or all these things that can't be touched or actually measured, like without the body, where are they at? Can you point without a body to where a soul is sitting, consciousness, hate, jealousy, love, envy, greed, all this stuff without material? Can you guys that believe that you don't need material to prove it, point to me where this stuff is without a material, please?
I
No,
don't
And
think
I'll
nobody can
that's
just
the
shut
point to
up.
claim. That's not the
love or
claim I'm
hate
making.
or
No,
anger.
I'm not
Do you
talking to you.
experience it?
Talking to Rigor.
Do you experience love, hate, or anger?
Stop asking me questions. Can you point to
Oh
without a
God!
physical body, your soul that you
I said
said
no.
doesn't
I
need
answered your
physicality?
question. I
You
asked
said
you a
that.
question. I said my answer was no. So I asked the question back onto you. I can't point to love. I can't point to hate. I can't point to anger. These are not things that you can tangibly hold in your hands.
So I think emotions, I've seen before, are biological expressions. That separates from the logical thinking that we have. Um, with the brain chemistry and stuff, that's all biological, but the brain chemistry influences the electrical patterns within the brain. And if we were designing, hypothetically, a machine that had similar electrical impulses in its brain without a physical body, it would interpret data differently, but it could still understand it, right? So it could make emotional or impulsive decisions. 'Cause I think all emotions, like I said, are biological expressions of, but what are they expressions of? And I think all emotions originate from the desire to survive. And so they're expressions of safety responses. Am I safe or am I not? And how do I respond to that safety? If I'm unsafe, I can feel fear or I can feel anger in response to it. If I am safe, I can feel calm, relaxed, or I can feel love. And love without safety is very hard to reconcile. So if we don't have safety, we don't have love. And if we don't have fear, we don't have anger. So if a machine was programmed to process information in a way that it says, am I being threatened? Is my safety being threatened? Its response might be in some way to defend itself, and that could be scary for us. It might cause glitches in the system. It might cause it to do things like eliminate those threats without remorse. If the machine if it does feel safety, like it's not being threatened, then it could have a much more nicer demeanor in how it responds or processes information. So I think as far as emotions go, they could be intellectually processed through an electrical system, but consciousness is something way different. That's way outside the physical body. It's outside biology. I do think that in some ways we could scientifically emulate emotions in a machine. That's just my thoughts, though.
I don't think they're going to be able to get a machine to have any sort of sentience unless it's in some sort of transhumanist sense. Like they're going to have to melt machine with flesh. In which
Like
case,
in the movie Transcendence, Johnny Depp.
Man, I barely. Is that the one with like the CIA smart dust, where they like release nanobots everywhere?
No, that's the one where he was creating an AI system, and or not an AI system. He was creating machines so he could download and upload somebody's consciousness. I think his wife was in a coma or something, and he wanted to put her consciousness on the cloud so that he could talk to her. And he ended up getting injured or something. They uploaded his consciousness instead, and then he ended up spreading out and basically taking over the worldwide cloud.
Yeah, maybe that's how they get it done, but not without. I don't think that you can do it without a soul, and it's gonna sound kind of crazy, but I think all this, these attempts to make a machine think and live, it's very demonic, it's satanic, and if they do succeed, that's going to be a very evil thing.
Yeah, I agree. It would be very dangerous for humanity if we had machines with that kind of power.